Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Boy.
He had something new every week.
Hello, good night. Hello to everybody. This is the After Hours, our 6th episode. Finally, we're back in our regular mode. Boys, my big buddies, let's talk Disney.
Big buddies. Big buddies. Why do you cut to me? You say big buddies, he cuts to me. How's it going?
Definitely not me.
I've got to tell you, I'm excited about tonight. I'm a little nostalgic already though about last week because it was kind of nice having you nice and close. Like
He's just
no one
he's just
there.
saying
I'm all
that
by
'cause I wasn't
myself.
there.
But I'm glad to have Collin back. Collin, did you have a nice vacation?
It was a lot of fun. It was a little different, kind of an odd week, but at the same time, it was a lot of fun to kind of disappear for a little bit, just have kind of a little bit of time away. It was a beach trip, kind of a slow pace in Hilton Head Island, so it's always kind of a good change of pace when you kind of go at things constantly all the time, like so many of us do.
And well, for me, the good thing is that I'm really far from that thing here.
The plant, your best friend?
I'm totally far from it. There's no way that I could move back from out of the wall. So
somebody find one of those on eBay and send it to Carlos so we can have one in Miami too.
We just have to bribe his family to get it put up. That's what we could do. If we could just have one of his kids or maybe his wife just like sneak in while he's on and just like kind of hang it from the bookshelf behind him.
Right behind him.
Yes.
I think we can make that happen.
Guys, let's say hello. First of all, let's say hello for our good friends that are already here. And I could pay attention that like Mike is watching from the pool tonight.
From the pool?
From the pool, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Don't drop your phone unless it's waterproof.
Yeah,
it's fine. It'll be all right.
And Ben in the UK is watching. I don't know, dude. You got to sleep at some point. I mean, I'm glad you're here.
Or late, however you want to think about it. But
and Chris is just remembering us that Collin's vacation happened after he was born. Do we have everybody in there? Our friend Jeremy is around. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's there.
He's paying attention.
And the lovely Sarah Goff is there as well. Hello, Sarah. And Laura
Stephen
Sneed is
Schools
here.
Was in the building. What a good guy.
Oh, Steven's here. Steven School. Hi, Steven. Good to see you. All right.
Haven't seen in a little bit. That's always awesome.
Guys, you know what I have here in my right hand?
Is it a shredded version of the picture that was behind your head?
Yes.
That would make sense.
No, it's something a little bit better. It's actually the copy of the second edition of the After Hours Top 10 list.
Yay!
Yeah. What's going on with in Kentucky, Collin? Your camera was shaking.
I moved my computer back a little bit. It was really close on my face, so I had to just
all that
shift it
fracking
just a little bit.
All the fracking going on. That's
Probably.
I think people, if you're not aware, the top 10 list is actually we're doing a little bit. We're being influenced by David Letterman. We brought the whole idea of the Late Show top 10 list to our After Hours show, and I think
not quite as funny, but we're gonna try.
That is funny. At least it's really funny to prepare and to plan it. We always have a good time. Yeah,
it's hilarious in my head.
I think a lot of things are hilarious in your head, Jason.
I love this one, so I will share with everybody the topic for this week, which is top 10 alternative use for Tom Sawyer Island. Guys, this will be really fun.
and maybe prophetic.
Yes. Well,
who knows at this point?
You never know.
You never know how it goes, yes. Guys, are you ready?
I'm ready if you're ready. Collin, you ready, buddy?
Ready.
Okay, so number 10 with Collin.
And for the record, if I'm looking this way, I have another screen over here now, so I'm not just looking at some random person on the wall or pulling a Lou Mangello and looking at completely nothing. So number 10, a home for retired characters from closed attractions, where you can meet Dreamfinder walking around with a frustrated Mr. Toad in his arms.
Oh, so cute.
A little disappointing, but that's a good one.
Number 9. There it is. There it is. And I'm so glad. Look, the timing was perfect. Our good friend Lou Mangello is in the group tonight, and just in time to hear number 9. The number 9 alternative way of using Tom Sawyer Island is the island gets turned into ABC's Lost experience, including a smoke monster meet and greet and a disheveled raft pilot named Jack who shouts, "We have to go back, Kate. We have to go back."
Where did he get these sound effects?
Oh, boy. Number 8.
Track on these, just so it sounds like we're actually having anybody laughing, because they're probably not. They're probably just looking at their screens like that was terrible.
Number 10.
I have to read number 8. This was Carlos's brainchild, for the record. I'm not claiming this one.
Number 8, Collin.
8, Tom Sawyer Island would become Tom Brady's Island, including a Giselle meet and greet.
Oh, no,
I'm not complaining.
No, let me add some effector to that one, because it's like this. Number
for the record, that was not for the Tom Brady part. Okay, number 7. Island becomes a shooting range for the First Order. It won't affect guest safety because they can't hit anything anyway. God, I'm so sorry, people. I had no idea that the sound effects were going to be here.
I was trained for a while now. Number 6.
He's been waiting for this moment his whole life. Number 6. The island plays host to the Star-Spangled Muppet Spectacular, where we find our beloved characters defending Fort Sam Eagle from an assault of water cannons, which costs $5 for 1 minute of play, but are free to guest from the UK.
Appropriate enough. Yeah, appropriate.
Number 5.
Number 5. New Pleasure Island. What happens on the island stays on the island.
Like Vegas, but better.
Number 4.
All right. The new site for Shrunken Ned's Junior Jungle Boats. A little throwback, a little bit of fun, and we'll see how many people actually remember that.
Yes, we need to figure out how
that long ago.
It really wasn't. I think it said 2012 or something like that.
Remember good old 2012.
A whopping 7 years ago when the parks were open.
Number 3.
Number 3. Tom Sawyer Island becomes the Treasure Island experience, brought to you by Disney Plus, where after searching for treasure, guests are rewarded with a full-length viewing of the 1950 classic.
Please don't put me in a room for 2 hours.
It's only 90 minutes. I think it's only 90 minutes.
Only.
Number 2.
The island becomes a water park with only one attraction. Rivers of America, scuba diving, a knee-deep underwater adventure.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Number 1.
Sound effects are so bad.
And number 1. The island plays host to a new attraction called Rush, where guests are invited to become modern-day warriors, riding out the day's events, where they can catch the mist, catch the myth, catch the mystery, and catch the drift. There. Now we're talking. That's a sound effect I can get.
Oh, I love it. I was having fun here.
Oh, we could tell.
Well, I'm clapping now.
Oh, boy. Somebody discovered the soundboard this week.
Oh. Oh, and now I can see the comments here. The Lou is here. Eric is also doing. And now, please, just try to share with us which one was your favorite for the top 10.
Lou immediately says, "Don't hate on Treasure Island." We're not hating on it.
No, it's not. Actually, it's a case of love. Guys, so you know one thing, we have to move on. Let's go to our news segment. News segment.
Not again.
Oh.
You know, guys, that I don't even have a clue what we're gonna talk about today, because there is actually, if there's something that we're not missing this week, there are many news that we talk about. But let's start with our buddy Jason.
Oh, you want right under the bus right there.
I'm just excited. I mean, look, I know there's a lot going on. There's a lot of like speculation about all sorts of things, attractions that are going to be rethemed and so forth. I'm just excited to be able to get out to Disneyland in July. Like I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Buddy,
You're gonna have a problem.
I think you probably were too involved with all the things that you're doing this week.
I missed an email.
Moving process and all the stuff that are not around too. But
I'm not gonna be happy.
No Disneyland.
You got pushed back, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a dream.
No,
I thought
that's reality.
That was a nightmare. I thought it was like a Bob Newhart moment or something. Oh, goodness. That's
yes.
right. Yeah.
So
that happened. That really happened? That really happened. I'm sorry. Well, I don't know when I'm going to get back to Disneyland then.
Yes. There's in a serious note, there's a lot of things going on there.
Very much so.
And it's not that there are a lot of things going on here in Florida too, but I think that here at least a little bit more content. But yes, that's the thing. What I would like to bring, and it's something just in a happier
Everybody's
note.
got to love our poor acting skills too. Like, he's just terrible.
But what I've heard, and I was really surprised, was about the way that they're gonna distribute the NBA teams, and we keep on bringing the NBA to the news segment. You know,
ever developing.
And it's something that it always started with Collin. But
this After Hours brought to you by the NBA Experience.
Yeah.
Please, I mean, I'll take that sponsorship. I mean,
would you though?
I would.
Would you though? Would you?
But what surprised me a little bit was the way that they distributed the teams in 3 tiers. The first tier is staying in the Grand Destino in Disney Coronado Springs. The second tier will be staying in Disney's Grand Floridian, and then the third in Disney's Beach or Yacht Club. Yacht Club. Mm-hmm. So what surprised me was the fact that the first tier was not staying in the Disney Grand Floridian, because there's a sense that that's the luxury hotel. Mm-hmm. But from what I've heard is that the main reason is that the new showers and the new bathrooms in the Grand Destino are much more appropriate for the size and the height of the players. I don't know if that's true. And also what I heard is that for some rooms they're changing the beds. They're putting bigger beds.
I think that part of it's just not going to happen.
I don't know where you dream this stuff up. This is like. What are they going to do? Put like extensions on the bottoms of the beds or something?
No, they're going to change the beds. From what I heard, they're going to change.
They're going to change the bed. They have to change out the whole thing.
And after that, they're going to do an auction. No, in this bed, such and such players slept for a while.
Sell it off after the bed.
Yes.
World's largest eBay auction.
Collin, help me, buddy.
One slightly used mattress.
What is it's funny because I'm looking to the comments right now, and then I have to put this out. Terry is already saying, I'm really sad about what I do not see behind Carlos' head. I'm not.
It's bad. So here's the thing. Carlos's speculation is bad when he's bringing up the picture to distract us from what he just said.
No, but seriously though, it's funny the way they've laid it all out, because originally, like you said, you would expect the rankings of the teams to dictate where they're staying, but it's actually kind of the opposite effect. It seems that they're going for that. They're making the teams that have to move into Destino the ones that are the lower seeded teams, which theoretically does make sense because it has that kind of home field advantage kind of feel to it. But
well,
it's interesting to know.
Consolidate everybody into that hotel, and look,
so some people won't have to move.
It's a fantastic hotel. We've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Dahlia Lounge.
Time there this year.
Dahlia Lounge, Toledo. What do we? Barcelona? Is it Barcelona? What's the name of the bar downstairs?
Barcelona
Lounge. Yeah, so good. Three Bridges.
Yep.
There's so much space there too. Like I'm sure a lot of
especially the extra long beds apparently.
And their fitness center's crazy nice because it just opened. At least the one in the main tower.
You went to
I've
the
not been in it, but I walked in it. Let's put it that way. I did not use it. Have you met me? If I am running or doing things strenuous, it better be on a golf course or something bad has very much happened.
Well, when does that all start? July?
Mid to late July, if I remember correctly. I want to say late July. And I think it runs through October, September, somewhere in there.
Luke just remind us that the Rush lawyers are already in the phone. So are Letterman's.
Luke also said the Nets are going to be right. So the Nets are going to the extended stay motel on 192 in Kissimmee.
It's very likely. Very likely at this point in the year.
So,
so moving off the NBA.
Yeah, moving off. Any other news?
Well,
I mean, I feel like there's too much news.
Yes,
there is a lot. Do you want to touch on the experience of booking the park reservations?
Oh yes, this is important. You had that experience.
So
yes,
I'm one of the few that has had. Well, there's a lot, but there's not as many as if they included all the pass holders yet. I had a reservation for early July, so we were one of the very first groups to rebook. We were supposed to actually check out the day it opened, July 11th. So we got to rebook this week, and actually it went surprisingly well. We rebooked the morning they allowed it. We got on the phone at 7 in the morning. It took us about 70 minutes to get through based on what the phone actually said when we hung up the phone. And that part of it went flawlessly as far as rebooking. Actually, we saved money in doing so, which is a point all in of itself, just because of what the rates are doing and things like that. It doesn't seem like they're spiking the rates or actually going the other way. I mean, we saved over $500 on our reservation. And then as soon as we got off the phone there, we made the reservations. I waited probably, and I'm in the minority on this one because I actually got through pretty quick, but I think I waited somewhere around 20 minutes before I could get through to the park reservation system. I know a lot of people have had very vastly differing things on that. One thing that seemed to help was using Firefox. I didn't even have it. We used it on a different computer because we had 3 different computers trying to get on. And one was Safari, one was Google Chrome, the other one was Firefox. And Firefox went through light years faster than everything else that had been running already. We just decided to use it as a last-ditch effort, and it went through within 10 minutes on that computer, which is interesting to note. I don't know if it has anything actually to do with it or not, because they say it's a virtual queue, but I've heard other people having good luck with it as well. Also with the race weekends, Lisa was saying the same thing happens there. So Lisa, that's important to know.
Lisa who?
Denoto Glassner, the Castle Run, that was on here a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, Lisa. I just wanted to get the plug in. That's all.
Yeah, just a shameless plug. She has candles too. CoreMemoryCandles.com. But once you get in, it's very, very user friendly. I was actually very impressed because I did not expect it to go very smoothly once you got into. I was pleasantly surprised. We could book for our entire length of stay. I know some people had issues where if you had an annual pass and a reservation, you were still only be able to book 3 days. I didn't face that issue at all. There were 4 people in our party, 1 that had our regular ticket, and the rest of us have annual passes. We jumped on. We got every day we wanted, every location we wanted, every park we wanted the whole week. And I know it's into July, so it's not as big of a deal as like the first opening days. But it's a good sign for people rebooking reservations that it may not be as hard as we all thought it would be originally. I mean, we even canceled one and rebooked it because we wanted to switch up our days, and we didn't have any issues at all. So that's a positive in all of it. even though I know a lot of people have been struggling with it quite a bit.
Well,
so that's my experience with it.
I'm still figuring out which is going to be my strategy on that. I already have some reactions from Jason earlier today when I said that probably I'm not going to be in the opening day, but probably I'm going to concentrate closer to Epcot's opening day, and then Jason could be with you guys to enjoy food and wine, which is for me is the
food and wine.
Yeah,
it's a little early for food and wine.
Yeah. July 15th.
Yes, you're as surprised as Disneyland, no?
Isn't it
mind blowing?
Shouldn't it actually be called like
flower garden, food
flower
and wine,
or
flower and wine, or food and garden,
something.
That food festival all fall.
But Collin, you know which is going to be the first thing that Jason will do when he gets into Epcot?
Is he going back to Takumite?
No,
that's normally the answer.
He's going to the Mexican pavilion because somehow he needs to mention that.
It's got to be mentioned on every show.
Yes.
He's going to dance for us too. Somebody make a gift.
I'll be the
of that
guy
and send it to
standing
us.
out. I'll be the guy standing out in the middle of the sidewalk,
just breathing
it in.
Oh, me too. You know,
over there wafting it in.
Felipe from Brazil is saying, I have success to December. 7 days already scheduled. Good to know, Felipe. Good to know.
Yeah.
So I'm actually very excited about the food and wine kind of being mashed up with Flower and Garden. I mean, because we're going to basically get this sort of extension of Flower and Garden, and then
I hope we see some of the menus too. I don't know if it'll happen, but I hope we get some of the elements of both, because there's so many good things at both of them too, and a lot of them could carry over from location to location.
Well, yeah, I mean, and there was a lot of good food at Flower and Garden Festival this year, and just shameless plug, WDW Radio podcast episode 581.
Oh,
I did
yes,
live
sure.
review of the 2020 Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival.
Mm-hmm.
If he just pulled that out of his head, I'm going to be impressed. But it's probably a sticky note somewhere on his computer.
I pulled it up on I have, of course, right at my fingertips. This podcast. That's what I do. It's right there, ready to go all the time.
Okay. Who's going to give me hate in the comments about it? I still haven't listened to that
one. Let's see if there's some comments here that we need to Heather is saying, just rename them festivals. Terry is saying, so Jason, are you getting up to get a pass for the 21st? Terry Rex want to know.
The answer is, well, I'm not going to divulge my strategy for tomorrow morning when pass holders will be able to make reservations.
And everybody in the world watches this show.
And Lou just asked, who? And then, what's the heck a radio? Okay, well, guys, so let me. I did something wrong here.
Did he break it?
I hope he didn't break the internet.
No,
got the wrong name.
No, but actually, we need to let me do it here. Yes, I think we need to move on. And actually, I'm really happy to say that finally, after 3 weeks, we're gonna do this top 5.
Are we doing that now? Are we doing that one?
Yes, I think we're doing
it. I've been carrying this piece of scrap paper around for like 6 weeks.
Yes, finally we're gonna be able to come up with that top 5. This is the top 5 that broke the computer.
It is. You'll see why momentarily.
This is the top 5. So let's move with our top 5 list. Welcome to the After Hours Top 5. In this segment, we'll have the chance to share with you our favorite picks. Let me explain you how it works. Every episode we will choose one topic, and then each one of us will come up with 5 different top picks. And after that is when the fun begins. Between us 3, we'll discuss and then agree on a final top 5 list. But wait, there's more. After reaching that agreement, we'll then ask you to evaluate and to validate the final list. So, the topic for this week is top 5 views from the water. Guys,
glub, 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 glub.
And that's Jason, because he can't swim very well.
And it's been something like 3 weeks that I'm sleeping with it.
On this one a while.
And you're going to see that there were different interpretations of each for each one. The list is beautiful. And what we try to bring this way in this list were beautiful images, and that's why we had a meltdown with the computer the last 2 weeks ago, and that's why we didn't want to do that one in last week, because we needed Collin to be with us. So I would propose the following. Let's start with Collin, then Jason, then me. Could be? Is this
all right?
Collin, let's go with your number 1. No, number 5.
Number 5, right?
5. Number 5.
We can go that way if you want to, but
number
it's
5.
Anticlimactic.
Number 5.
So this is, as usual, this is my typical go with me here at the beginning of this list, just because it was fun, and I think I'm going to get a rise out of Jason on this one, so that's even better. And I'm going with one that's kind of random, and it's because I'm the photography guy in the room, and this is one thing that excites me, and I'll have to explain it. So it's Tomorrowland puddles. Bear with me. So if you get a really heavy rain in Magic Kingdom, it floods, and you have to be there at the right time to actually see it happen. It has to rain really, really hard. Well, if you're there on the right night and you go to Tomorrowland, there's puddles everywhere. Well, that's a photographer's dream to have some of these shots, and he put one up on the screen. So if you see the photo, the bottom half of it's all reflection. There's no camera sorcery there. That's literally how it comes out of the camera. And it's just a giant puddle in Tomorrowland. And if you get the right night, you can have hundreds of photos like this just from different parts of Tomorrowland, because it doesn't drain very well. Same thing for Fantasyland and certain sections of Main Street USA. There's puddles along the curbs. It makes for great photography. So I absolutely love this view because it's rare, and if you're in the parks when it happens, you get to see some of this. I'm the crazy guy with the camera about an inch away from the puddle, looking like I'm about to douse my camera in the water. But it's fun. It's different. It's something a lot of people will never get to see, but it's something that's always there when it rains really heavily. Jason, it's time for you to grill me on that one.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's great. I just the one thing I'm imagining though is you standing there, right? You're standing there, you're about to get this perfect shot, and then somebody like comes walking through, maybe splash through, like they're so happy and excited, and you're back, and they're like so happy, and the kids like splashing and singing and having a great time, and you're standing behind their car like,
I gotta wipe everything off again.
But I think that's great.
And it's funny because
people are actually very courteous of it, which shocks me, because most people are just fascinated by it because they'll be staring at the back of your screen, especially the new camera I have that actually has a flip out screen. So people walk by and are like, oh, cool, is that actually a reflection of that? Like, yeah, it is. If you get low enough, you can see it with your eye too, but nobody wants to put their face on a puddle. But it's fun to show people because they often overlook it, or they don't even think it's possible, and you show it to them and they're like, oh, that's cool, that's different, I've not seen that before. So it's just kind of rewarding for the photography guy. Had to throw that
I have
in.
just to bring again the Chris comment, puddles pity party. Guys, so let's go to Jason's number 5.
All right, my number 5, this is an easy one, but I think it's one of my favorite. We're going to head on over to Hollywood Studios. We're going to sit or stand or just relax around Echo Lake during the Christmas holiday. I think that's one of the most beautiful places to be in the parks. And this space is so transformed during that period of the year. It's just
Really, the
Absolutely
whole
gorgeous.
park. It's amazing how much they do to it these days, especially the front half of the park, the music and everything. It's just brilliant.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So
Very
Love it.
warm, very welcoming.
And the music and and plus it helps that Tune In Lounge is like it's like right there.
Yep.
It's like right behind me.
You know that my number 5, I don't have a photo of that. So I asked to Colin to help me.
And
Because
even I didn't have a photo of it originally.
and it's a go with me also. Let me explain that. The number 5 is my number 5 is actually when you're riding Splash Mountain, and today there's a lot of news about Splash Mountain. But when you're riding Splash, yeah, we're riding Splash Mountain, and you start to climb to the summit that you're gonna fall, and right
At the time Carlos cries.
yeah, and right in the crest, when you're about to start falling, you get that view that is straight from the rivers of America. Sometimes you can see, and you can see the castle, and it is perfect, and it's perfect, and it's the only time in that moment that I'm gonna be smiling, because I don't know if you are aware, I'm not so fond of roller coasters and the feeling of falling, so. And that's the reason. So I will bring the image that Colin helped me, which is only the sign for Splash Mountain. But my number 5 is Splash Mountain view before the drop. That view, I think, is amazing. In its my number 5. You like it, guys? You have to see how it's impossible for me to take that picture, but during that moment, if I'm not smiling, I'm crying.
Take the picture.
It will be impossible for you to take that picture.
It's true. It's funny though. A lot of the photographers, it's one of the go-to shots that's near impossible to get unless you have a really heavily weather-sealed camera. You're gonna get soaked, and expensive lenses, electronics don't always play well with that kind of stuff. So you have to have a pretty high-end camera for it to actually stand it. When you get to the bottom. You gotta
take one for the team sometimes.
That's true. It's an expensive one for the team, but I actually have a water sealed camera now, so I could theoretically do it. So we might have to make that happen.
Chris
I'll be on a different attraction.
Chris has mentioned.
Well, maybe it depends on how quick it closes.
I think she's done, baby. I think.
Well, they said it will reopen when the park reopens in July. That was what it said in one of the press releases. That's secondhand information, so I'm not claiming it. But
Chris,
okay. We'll see.
Chris Shepard is saying Jason pulls the Christmas card at the beginning. The rest of his must be awesome. Okay, Colin, my friend, let's go to your number 4.
So this one's actually oddly specific, and it's Spaceship Earth, the little lagoon that you look over that kind of goes across where the monorail cuts across, looking towards Spaceship Earth from where normally the Food and Wine Festival booths are, right up against the fence there, but it's after park closes. And there's something about that area after park closing. You get some of the last monorails of the day passing by, and it's just so incredibly quiet and unique. And there's something about closing out Epcot that just has a different feel to it. And it's so quiet up in that space, because normally in Epcot, people are either eating, finishing up a meal, or just heading straight for the door. A lot of people don't stop there and take in that view, because sometimes it's kind of shrouded by Flower and Garden Festival or Food and Wine Festival booths, because they kind of push up against that fence there. But if you have the right spot on a perfect still night, the reflection's incredible off the water, and it's all the Epcot feels in one place. And unfortunately, it's a view that may be changing at some point in the not so distant future with all the changes to Epcot, but something I've always really enjoyed, especially during Flower and Garden, like the picture that we're actually showing currently.
Yep, I love that, my friend. The picture is amazing. Jason, your number 4.
My number 4.
Yep.
So excited. My number 4. We're gonna head on over to Disney Springs, which my Google Home still calls Downtown Disney, which is great. Head on over to Disney Springs, and we're going to watch and enjoy the sunset on Village Lake specifically from Chuck Lindsay's Hangar Bar, which opened today. Yes.
And I've yet to been to actually eat.
I've never been there too.
But that spot, I mean, really any place. I've been posting a lot of pictures. We did a whole video on the sunset period at Village Lake. I adore Disney Springs during the sunset. It's
a really good sunset spot. And
I don't know why it was lost on me
for
so long. Yeah, I definitely underappreciated it.
And even the artificial spring area, like the really like aqua, like turquoise blue water, if you're in that area at sunset too, it kind of shows up right between Morimoto Asia and Planet Hollywood. And it's a great view back there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot, a beautiful place. Anywhere out by Paddlefish, over by the Margarita. What is it? Dockside
Margaritas, I think, something like that.
Yeah, it's you really can't get a bad spot if you can see the water. But my favorite, of course, is why not? I mean, if you're going to watch the sunset, why not do it with a cold beverage and maybe a big soft pretzel over at the Hangar Bar?
Or you could just go to Boathouse. Go out on the water.
Good.
Also a win.
Okay, but now I'll go to a number 4, and my number 4 for this one I do have a picture. I'm pretty happy with that. My number 4, it is, and actually I took the whole idea, this views from the water, and that one for me is not that pretty famous, it's not that pretty scenic, but I really loved the pathway between Pandora and Harambee Village. It is, I love that area. I love that walk. Usually, depending on the time of the day, but usually it's not that busy, particularly when it's closer to dusk. It's beautiful. I really like that. That place is quiet, calm, and somehow it is in the vicinities. Is close to one of my favorite places in the park, which is the Nomad Lounge. So bringing food and bringing the whole thing I love that place. I really love that place.
That is an overlooked pathway too. A lot
Yes.
of people don't go back there. They always go back out the other way towards Pizza Fari and that kind of stuff. It's a really neat walk around back through there. Even if you just want to cut off some of the journey over to Festival of the Lion King or Kilimanjaro Safari, especially at night. It's really, really nice.
Maria is saying, "Oh, that's very calming, Carlos. Thank you, Maria." You know, Maria is the name of my daughter. Chris is saying, "I like this one, Carlos. Unfortunately, we didn't have to travel that one in our last trip." And Maria also said, "Sound perfect, Jason." I think when you were mentioning your previous sunset. Okay, Collin, your number 3.
You're gonna notice a trend on these last 3, and they all kind of involve sunsets to an extent. So I mean, it comes with the territory.
It is the Florida skies.
That's how this list is going so far. Yeah,
the Florida skies is.
I mean,
yeah,
it's crazy nice sometimes. Well, more often than not, really. But I'm going to Magic Kingdom, and it's the sunsets over the hub moat, particularly towards Crystal Palace, that area. And one of my favorite photos came from there, and that's part of the reason that I picked that, because on a really nice sunset, the reflection off that little piece of water is just a nice little hint towards something that's just different and unique. And the colors are always amazing because the sunset's always on that side. And it's also, if you're going around towards Splash Mountain, just sneak that one in. There's nice sunset behind Splash Mountain a lot of days too, because it's that same general direction. But this is one that's always hit home with me. It's actually one that I offer for sale on my site as a print because I absolutely love it, and it's one of my all-time favorites. And it was a fleeting moment. I mean, this color pattern lasted for less than probably 3 minutes, and it was gone again. But it's just, if you're in the right place at the right time, it's so warm, it's welcoming. You've got that soft yellowish orange glow of the lights of Crystal Palace. It's just a fun spot to sit and either enjoy a snack, an ice cream, or something right there for a few minutes. And it's a good way to kind of reset the mind.
Yes, I love that picture, Collin. And it's see, Jason, we couldn't do this list and this top 5 without Collin last week. That's why I needed to come with that last minute change and trapped you in my top 5 list, and I stole your number 1.
I'm still a little bitter about it.
I'm still
a little irritated
enjoying
that you brought it up again. Okay, I'm just gonna move on. I'm just gonna move on to my number 3. Collin, that was lovely. That's a beautiful spot. I totally agree. It was also one of the locations for our what's that sound segment.
Last week,
I'm just gonna
the week of the top 5.
Yeah, the week. The week
aforementioned top 5 that will not be named.
That's right. The week when I was stabbed in the back by Brutus. All right. Number 3. My number 3 is pretty much anywhere. I mean, so we're going to head on over to the Seven Seas Lagoon.
This is one of those he's going to cover like 7 in one spot.
Well, I'm gonna, like I do have a specific spot, and the specific spot. So it's not just any time. It's not just any place around Seven Seas Lagoon or at any time. It's specifically during that sunrise period, the period like actually just before the sunrises. So if you get there early to enjoy it, it's just super quiet on the Poly Beach is where we're headed, and then we are going to just sit there and relax and watch the sunrise. And the cool thing is that you don't actually see the sunrise on the lagoon. The sunrise is over. Well, it's in the east, predictably. Which is if you're facing
the west from there too.
That's probably how it works all the time. If you're facing the Magic Kingdom from the Poly Beach, the sun is actually going to rise on your right, but the color that is thrown across the lagoon and onto the Grand Floridian from afar, it's just stunning. It's gorgeous, and you can watch everything just kind of come to life. Guests emerge, cast members are beginning the day. The boats begin to kind of circulate. The ferry starts to cross. It's just a really, really special time. And I encourage everyone to experience that at some point.
I really like that because it's one of those different experiences that a lot of people won't make the time for, but they really should. I mean, I'm not one to get up early. You all know that. But at the same time, it's well worth it. That spot, Boardwalk's an incredible place in the morning. There's so many amazing spots for a sunrise at Disney.
I have to so people are calling me out. Like Lisa Mylan says, sunrise? Jason, you saw the sunrise?
You got up? Yeah. He should have went in and ate an Ohana breakfast afterwards. But
I actually did afterwards. Well, I went to Kona. I went to Kona afterwards, but I did do that. But I got there early. I got there a little early for my ADR at Kona, and I enjoyed the sunrise. And yeah, it's lovely. And I do get up early from time to time.
Only when he has to.
Yeah, for a sunrise, I'll get up early.
Okay,
Carlos.
So let's go to my number 3, but I need to press here because I cannot remember what it is. But
clearly, it's not that memorable.
Now I remember. It is actually the bridge between UK and France, but you have to look to the west, and needs to be during the sunset. And nowadays with the Skyliner around and closing, it is always beautiful. I really like that area. I love that path, and that's the place.
And since you mentioned the Skyliner, I'm going to slide one in here. Skyliner sunsets, incredible across the water.
Yes.
Dude, you can't do that anymore. It's like every time, like I have PTSD about this whole thing. You start to say, I'm just going to slide one in. I'm like, no,
don't do it.
And that's my concern about the whole thing that we did, because it was supposed to be views from the water, and because I think there will be a future top 5 that we're going to talk about sunset, and it's a different thing. And I tell you, I'm the only one that from the beginning was sticking with the idea that I need to have water and I have to be a view. And I actually were asking them, so you need to be in the boat because it's a view from the water? And they went all over. They went all over it.
We never did tell him one way or the other.
No, we didn't.
The good thing is there's something that I'm responsible to control everything here. There would there's a minimal chance they would surprise me, but that's always.
You better wait. We can figure this out. We don't need graphics to surprise you.
But it's now it's Collin number 2.
Yeah, so we mentioned Boardwalk briefly. I'm actually going to go to nights at the Boardwalk, or better said, probably on the Boardwalk looking across the water, particularly at Yacht and Beach Club or Swan and Dolphin. Or even if you go on around from Yacht and Beach Club towards Epcot to watch fireworks or something like that. It's a lovely view. I mean, especially it starts from the moment the sun starts to set. Something about that area and the way it lays out. I don't know if it's just because it's a really flat area of property or because the lake or whatever it is. It's incredible. The sunsets there are better than about anywhere on property as far as sight lines go. And just looking across the water, the range of colors and stuff that you get, you can see so far from that spot, especially if you're up on the balcony leaving the back of the Boardwalk's lobby there. You can see forever because Florida's so flat. But as day transitions to night, it's an incredible place to be. The sights and the sounds, you've got the performances on the Boardwalk itself that has a really nice ambient atmosphere. And as it kind of slows down at night, you still have like jelly rolls and some of the restaurants and stuff. But when the families start to kind of dissipate and go back to the room, it's one of the quietest places on Disney property where you can just take a nice stroll around the lake. You hear the friendship boats coming back and forth from Epcot for the last few times of the night. And it's one of those places much like Boulder Ridge Villas where the later it gets, the quieter it gets. And it's just a transformative experience, for lack of a better word. And it's just so multi-sensory. And there's always something going on, but it's just enough to give a little bit of atmosphere. And you've got the lights of the Boardwalk, the old school lights, and you've got that nice view of the lighthouse that spins. And it's a lovely experience. And I always encourage people to go over there because so many don't. Or they've not made the time for it, or they've just not known it exists quite the way that we portray it, or they've just stayed there and they've gone to the parks and they've not spent time on the Boardwalk itself. But I love that area. It's one of my top 5 places anywhere in Walt Disney World, time and time again.
And it's an amazing picture to Collin.
I got a little lucky on that one.
Did you take this picture? So did you take the picture from the Boardwalk, the one that we were showing of the lighthouse?
Do you know where the pretzel place is on the Boardwalk, right in front of Flying Fish as you go around?
Of course I know where the pretzel place is.
Yeah. So just to the right of that, where there's the seating area, if you prop up a tripod there and go straight across, you have a straight sight line across so that the lighthouse lines up with the flags behind it on the yacht club. It's the only place you can get a direct sight line where it's symmetrical, which is like an OCD thing of mine. Because I did it once. I've repeated this photo 2 or 3 times just so I aligned it up right on future visits.
Are any of your other selections around this area?
Sorry?
Or any of your other top 5 selections around this area?
No.
Okay. No. So one of my favorite spots is on the other side. So if you're taking that path from International Gateway over to Boardwalk, but during the day, there's that tree, that one tree that's before you get to the sort of overlook area where they do some wedding pictures and things like that. There's this beautiful shaded spot there along.
Yeah, and it has a kind of a nice overhang from the tree.
Yes,
that's how you know we're crazy Disney.
I love that spot. You get a drink and a snack or not. You don't even need to. You just
it's always
you're
quiet
walking
up there too.
It's always quiet. It's always peaceful. It's like there's no one around other than the people who are kind of walking back and forth. But if you're there in the middle of the day, there's not even that many people. And it's a really, really lovely spot to not just relax, but also to take some really nice pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many good spots over there like that. And like I said, the later it gets, the better it gets as far as the quietness of it. I mean, Jelly Rolls is open till like 2 o'clock in the morning, so nobody's going to ask you to leave, or they're not going to ask you to go back to your resort or anything. I mean, I've been out there at 1 o'clock in the morning before just taking pictures because it's the quietest that you'll ever see it, and it's a lovely experience. I wouldn't recommend everybody do it because you'll be awful tired the next day, but when you leave Epcot after midnight, you kind of end up there, and then you feel like obligated to take some photos on your way back to the resort. So it's a great spot.
I feel like we should name that tree. We should have like a contest of some sort, and I mean, it won't be official, of course.
We'll get a plaque and we'll set it at the bottom of the tree and see how quick Disney removes it.
So, Jason, my buddy, you're number 2.
Oh, I get to go. That's right. Okay, number 2. My number 2 is we're going to head on over to Animal Kingdom. I know there's still so many good spots in Animal Kingdom. But one of my very favorite spots is so it's sitting behind Mr. Kamal's food place in Asia, and so sitting along the Discovery River there, and staring off at the Tree of Life, and really any time of day is lovely. But again, I'm going to go back to Sunset just to spoil Carlos's Sunset Top 5 episode segment. It's one of my favorite spots in all of Disney World to just sit and relax and chill out. And maybe eat something.
And I have to put a shameless plug in here. I'm not kidding you. I talked to Laura about this exact photo earlier today. Yeah, it's one of her favorite photos of yours. So she's going to be delighted that it showed up on your list near the top.
Good. Yeah.
Laura is saying, my ultimate favorite Jason Canapp. I need to this on the wall of my house, please.
These don't. The thing is, like, what you have to understand is that all of my pictures, like if I'm taking photographs, it's on a phone, right?
So yeah, I'm trying to change that. I've tried to get him to buy a camera for a long time. He won't do it.
So heavy. The thing is that they're not quite like Colin's pictures or Carlos's pictures. They don't really blow up too well. So you can get to a certain size. What do you think?
The file
Colin?
size is only so much. Yeah, I mean, you can probably get to about 8x10 before you start losing quality. But
yeah,
I mean, that's just 12. The limitations of a phone sensor. It's nothing against the camera. It's just how it is. I mean, it's only so many megapixels at the end of the day, and they only scale so much before they get blurry.
Yes.
Yep.
But it's a really, really good picture. Really good moment too.
Jeremy is saying my favorite Animal Kingdom water view is from the back of the Flame Tree City, looking over the 2 Evers.
Yeah, that's good.
Right.
This is a place that I need to go because Joe Rohde, not Jeffrey, Joe Rohde, actually wrote about this on Instagram and was saying something similar, that it's to avoid it during, unless you're hungry, avoid it during like the lunch rush when it's crowded. But if you go at other periods of the day, it's a really, really nice place to sit. And I have not done that. In fact,
it's a really cool spot during Rivers of Light too. Even though it's not a good viewing spot,
yes, it's right.
And the atmosphere is really, really neat.
I think I need to do a video there.
You should.
Yep,
for sure.
You should do that.
I thought you already did.
Not from that spot.
Did you do one like facing the other way, like a fountain or something? You did something in that area. Pretty positive you did. Maybe I'm crazy. It wouldn't be the first time.
I mean, they're not mutually exclusive.
It's true.
You may be crazy.
It's true.
I may have not done it.
There's no maybe to it. It's guaranteed.
Okay, so let's go to my number 2. The number 2 is Rivers of America. Looking toward the castle. It doesn't need to be right in the beginning of Frontierland. It could be a little bit farther away. It could be close to the country beer jamborees. Could even be close to the rafts to our beloved Tom Sawyer Island. I love that place. It doesn't need to be sunset, sunrise. It's always lovely the way that the water reflects the day is perfect for me. And, I like to spend a lot of time there. And even, if you look in an opposite way, it is also beautiful because you can see the Big Thunder or Splash Mountain. But from this way, you can see the castle, which is always beautiful. With the Florida sky is always amazing.
And that view at night is just insane.
Yep.
From the bridge that goes over towards Thunder Mountain, when you look back across there, because the ferry stopped running that late at night, the water's so perfectly still. It's incredible. The reflections, especially around Christmas with the dream lights, so good.
That's why probably we need to make a note, because there's another top 5. The top 5 night views That's another
That's a
thing.
good idea.
Yes.
I've got that one under wraps. That's 90% of my photos.
Colin's kind of a vampire. He only comes out at night for the most
That's
part.
true, especially at Disney. The sad thing is, I've normally been there for 10 to 15 hours before I get to the night. Then I sleep about 2 hours and go back and do it again.
Our friend Renato from Brazil is saying night picture. Good. Thank you. And Colin, let's go. Now it's your number one.
Yeah, this one actually, it's funny. I actually talked about this when I was talking to Michael of the Moving Platform earlier today because he was nice enough to have me on his podcast for the next, I think it comes out next week sometime. But I talked about this exact one because the question was, which one of your favorite photos you've ever taken? And this was the moment. And Jason already knows which one I'm going with here probably, but it's that boat ride from Wilderness Lodge to Fort Wilderness. And if you catch it at just the right time at sunset, it is a spectacular view because you have some of the waves from the boats, you have crossing pattern of the boat going by, you have perfect sunset. If you have clouds that it sunsets right over top of Magic Kingdom, it's really a brilliant spot. And in the particular photo that's here, everything lined up for me. I mean, it was completely luck of the draw. I couldn't have planned this if I tried 100 different times. And we just got about halfway across the lake. We got about to Fort Wilderness, right when you pass the island, and the other boat had left. It crossed right in front of us. I was on an open-sided boat, and if you look really carefully, there's even a monorail leaving the side of the Contemporary, and the sunset is just in the perfect spot for Cinderella's castle. And this photo blows up actually incredibly well, too, because it was a wide-angle lens. It's actually the one that's on the wall behind me, but it's very difficult to tell. The photos online don't really do it justice as far as quality goes because it compresses it so much it's hard to tell even where the monorail is and stuff like that. But it's by far my favorite photo that's on my store. It's one of my favorite photos I've ever taken, and I love to share this with people because it was literally about the most budget-friendly setup that you could imagine at that point. I had one camera lens, and I had a basic entry-level Nikon DSLR. And it's the one that I always go to when people ask me what camera you should buy. Whatever camera you want at the end of the day. And it's all about the moments you capture. And if you're not there and you're not taking the picture, you're not at least trying it, you're not going to get the photo. And it's not about the gear at the end of the day. It's just about having fun, capturing moments that really help you resonate with things. And this is a moment that I'll never forget because my family was sitting there next to me. My sister was actually one step closer to the railing than I was, so I was like shooting photos behind her back, and it was like a weird dynamic, but it worked out well, and it created such a really cool memory for at least my family, and hopefully this is one that I've gotten to share with a lot of people because it's gotten picked up a few different places, and it's always cool to share with people because everybody always loves the reflections, but it always holds a different story for me, so it always ends up top of my list.
I dare say vacation was good for you, Colin.
Yes,
yes. He's so. Am I right, Carlos? He's like so happy. He's like.
Yeah,
great headspace.
Poetically over
like,
here.
No, he's like able to kind of.
You're right. You're right. It was
the
really
situation,
good.
And I'm there with him. Like I'm feeling this. I'm feeling the warmth of the sun, and I'm like the glow, and it's like the family loves all around you, and just like this. And you're probably heading over to Fort Wilderness for dinner, right? Like heading over.
Yeah, of course.
It's such a great moment.
But actually, I need
the
to
funny
share.
Thing is, actually, I think I was headed to the Contemporary, so I was making the full loop. So I have
you're doing the
pictures
full
from
loop.
the other side of the island too, of the same sunset. And
wait, it doesn't
we went
go
to
that
watch the fireworks. Yeah, it does.
Go
if you go from Wilderness Lodge and you do the internal shuttle loop, it goes the other way.
Mm-hmm. The end.
Mm-hmm. They will back me in the comments because I was on boat.
I may have a video of this. I may have a video going from Wilderness Lodge
too.
If you get on Wilderness
Lodge,
see
the boat in the picture going the other direction, so it goes both ways.
Yep.
Oh, well, if it goes both ways, then what are we arguing about?
It's true.
Yes,
we win either way.
But let me share one thing, and we talk about Colin, so let me share what Chris mentioned. Things I learned tonight is after our show, Colin is a vampire, and he's only happy when it rains. Okay, Jason, let's go to your number one. I'm curious now.
Well, I mean, if you know me, if you've been paying attention for the past several weeks, then you know where we're going
Mexico?
Well, funny you should say. No, not Mexico. We are heading to Epcot. So we're going to head over to Epcot. We're going to walk in the World Showcase. We're going to pass Mexico. We're going to keep on heading around.
Jason's going to waft in the smell when he goes by.
Oh, yeah, I will. I'm going to pause and okay, that was done.
Pull out a funnel and a jar.
Yes, right. Lisa's got to have this. And we're going to head on over to really anywhere. The truth is, anywhere around World Showcase Lagoon is just fantastic. But specifically, there's this little spot in the Germany Pavilion, just sort of on the edge of the Germany Pavilion before you head. It's
right after that spot with the canoes, right? Like the canoes that are on the edge of the water going around just a little bit.
That's Italy.
No, not those canoes. These are the ones right in front of the outpost.
Those.
They're on the water's edge. Yeah.
No, this is not the Terry Stinson Doherty spot for Illuminations. This is this other spot. And and this is I don't know what picture we're showing right now. It's definitely not. There it is. Okay. I'm probably on delay here, but I just love that spot. I can't pass that spot without taking a picture every single time, much to the chagrin of whoever's with me. Oh my God. And then they're oh, now he's doing a video. Oh no.
We got to stand here for 15 minutes. I can just imagine your kids.
Oh, the kids. Yeah, they've given up on me completely. I'm talking about my friends at this
just
point.
Keep walking and leave you
They're
there.
giving up on me
catch
too.
Up in a minute. He does this all the time.
Catch up. But I love that spot. That is, I know it might be a surprising number one, but that is my number one spot because it's
a good spot. Yeah. It's a classic.
Yeah, good one. Actually, my number one is also in the same place.
That sounded like it was dripping with disdain for a second there.
Good one.
No, guys, no fair. I'm paying attention to many things here, so sorry. I'm emotional about that photo.
Too late, dude.
You, Carlos.
The moment's passed. It's too late.
I'm crying here. Actually, I would stay in the same place. We're gonna go to the World Showcase Lagoon, but then I was following the rules. I was the only one following the rules here because they say views from the water, so I needed to be really close, close to the water. And I remember something that happened when actually I was watching E to the Beat concert. And I decided to leave the concert and go eat something. And then I was leaving the theater, and then I look west towards Japan, the Japan Pavilion, and I have this picture here, and that's what I caught. And was the American Garden Theater looking towards Japan, and that is specific part from the World Showcase. That's the one that I'm trying to bring to you guys. And just because I was trying to follow the routes, and you can see there is a lot of water around.
There is a first for everything.
And it's almost like I was in the boat. Like I understood what we're trying to bring with this top 5. So it is not a boat, but it looks like that I'm from the boat looking towards the.
So you're saying you cheated?
No, I'm not cheating. I'm saying that you guys cheated. Yeah.
No, it's funny though. I have a picture in particular from this exact spot, and it is the sunset sets up perfectly from that exact spot, and it's the only place where you can get the sun where it falls right behind the archway in front of Japan, and it's really, really neat.
Yes, it's beautiful.
I like that. That's a good.
So I gotta since we're gonna completely spoil the sunset episode. The other spot that Collin taught me about was over in Future World.
Best spot ever.
What do you call that spot? So on the pathway going over towards the Imagination Pavilion.
Oh, then you look towards the west too.
Well, that is where the sunset. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's normally in front of where the butterfly garden used to be for Flowering Garden.
And you catch the imagination pavilion shape, and yes,
it's like
amazing.
Figment Henge. It's like it's beautiful when the sun like hits the top of the
family. And if you don't know about it, you'll miss it because it doesn't last very long. But if you're out there at the perfect time, the sun will set most days, not all days, right in line with the glass tower. And once it hits the glass tower, you can actually look at the sun fairly distorted, so it doesn't kill your eyes, obviously. But it creates such a cool atmosphere over there. It's like this orangish haze that comes over everything that's in the shadow of that pavilion. It's really, really neat. He didn't believe me that it actually happened that way. He fought me on it for a while until I showed it to him.
No, I mean, we had been running back and forth across Future World for like the past like 30 minutes in 90-degree heat.
And Collin, what surprised me that there was no picture in Jason's list, like sitting on San Angel restaurant, looking towards the river Rio del Tiempo, and looking towards the entrance of the pyramid.
You know why? Because it goes without saying.
No.
It goes without saying.
Okay, let me see if we can find the comments here. Well, talking about comments, one thing that I would like to ask everybody, particularly the ones that are, everybody, even from Facebook and YouTube, this is the moment that I really ask you to don't forget
this is the moment.
The like button to like the video, particularly in YouTube, is pretty important to us. Another thing is that if you're watching us from Facebook right after the show finishes, is important that because the show needs to finish, you go to our comments and there's the link for our YouTube channel. Please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel. We will love to see you there too. Okay, guys, and the audience and everybody was enjoying a lot. I think I was really pleased with all the work we did for this top 5 because it's visually was the most beautiful. I really love the one that we did with the movies, but this one is way, way beautiful. It's really beautiful.
You're not going to make us like agree on the list though, right? Because it
feels
wrong.
No,
no.
I don't know if you guys. What we could do and we should do is go to each one's list just briefly, just to show everybody again. So starting with Collin from 5 to 1.
Sure. So I started off with Tomorrowland Puddles, then went to number 4, which is Spaceship Earth over the Small Lagoon after closing time. And then 3 was Sunsets over the Hub Moat. 2 was Nights at the Boardwalk. And number 1 was the boat from Wilderness Lodge to Fort Wilderness. One of the best sunsets around.
Jason's, your list, please.
Well, number 5 was Echo Lake at Christmas. Number 4 was Sunset on Village Lake, specifically from Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar. Jock Lindsay's. Number 3, Morning from the beach, the Poly Beach at Seven Seas Lagoon. Number 2 was Discovery River behind Mr. Kamal's in Animal Kingdom. Number 1 was World Showcase Lagoon, specifically from that little spot in Germany, with an honorable mention of Rivers of America from Frontierland, and of course that gorgeous spot near the Japan Pavilion during the sunset. How about your list?
He tries to do that. Well, Splash Mountain, the image from the crest that nobody has the picture. That's the number 5 that you can see the castle, and then right after that you're gonna start screaming. Number 4, the pathway between Pandora and Harambe. Number 3, the bridge between UK and France, looking towards the west during sunset and with the Skyliner in the background. Number 2, Rivers of America, looking towards the castle. In number 1, the spot that Jason just tried to steal, American Garden Theater, looking towards the castle. That was amazing. That was amazing.
I
Guys,
want to say hi to Caleb. Caleb popped in and joined us. So.
oh, good, good. Say hi to good evening, Jason, Colin, and Carlos. Say hi, Caleb. How are you? Okay, guys. You know one thing? I think I do hear something.
Yeah.
What's that noise?
That annoying little.
There's something around
What's
here.
that sound?
It's kind of like Jason's voice.
No, that's a sound. I love that.
Jason's voice.
I gotta find a way to poke fun at Jason any chance I get.
Yeah, I love that.
So payback from 2 episodes ago when my Haunted Mansion pick.
Dude, I can't believe you just brought that up again.
Don't
just
make me
wait
mention
for the
the last
waves in the
show.
comments.
Can't leave that behind, my friend. Turn the page. Turn the page.
Never.
But
okay.
You know, one thing we need to recap. Colin, last week it was really difficult, and we couldn't stump them. They got everything.
No
We
surprise.
thought it was close to stumping them. It was close. Not that that's what we wanted to.
We got really
She's
close,
a
and then Sarah got one that was really difficult.
Nice.
It was. I thought that we finally got a win, but no, they got
A win?
Yeah, no, it's not a win, but you know, Colin,
Now you know who Carlos is really
Jason
thinking.
was particularly mean that with the sounds last week.
I'm not surprised. It is Jason.
I mean, I was imaginative. I was creative. I wasn't
Creative.
that I knew that you guys would figure it out. That someone would dig deep, and if we played it enough times, and we gave enough hints,
That's his cover. He's
that you
just
guys
really
would
mean.
get it, which you did. So good job. All right, but tonight, and this order is going to be interesting. Tonight, I think tonight's easier than last week.
It would be easier, I think.
Maybe the second one is going to be tricky.
Yes, I think you got two. They are almost. It's going to be fast this week. It's going to be pretty fast, and but the second one, that one is tricky. Two will be really fast. To be almost instantaneous.
Maybe, but you got to be specific. So we're sticklers for the specificity. So let's roll the first one.
So going in 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, it almost sounds like Mr. Rogers.
It does. It has a
Right?
Mr. Rogers vibe.
That's
to
what I
it.
love that
I
part.
will
I
not.
love the part
I will
of
not
that
play it
clip.
again. Let's
Sing it for us, Jason. Sing it for us.
You don't want me to do it.
Let's wait a little bit because how was the delay? I don't know. The delay is around today is around 30 seconds. Let's see.
Yeah.
You know, because I will sing.
Don't do
I will
that, please.
I'll let Carlos sing. Jason, you can hold off.
Full in favor.
You see,
Oh my
I
goodness,
I
Lisa
told
Milo.
you. I told you it was instantaneous, and it
See,
came
but
from
these are all
our.
these are all my lunch break people.
Yes.
Oh, I love you guys because we've only watched that. We just watched it last week. I
Like
think.
7 times.
The first one that appeared in the list
That's
was
fun.
for Lisa, then Ben, then
Look
Sarah,
at
then
Look at that.
Buddy Eric,
I gotta do better than this.
Heather,
That was like a little too easy.
Valerie, Terry also did it, and that's yes, Mary. So let's go to the review. Straight to the review.
Oh wait, Laura wants me to sing. So
Please do that. So I want to hear that.
We'll wait. We'll wait. Go
Let's-
for it. Go
let's
for
hear
it.
the reveal. Let's hear the. Let's.
Now I want to dance.
Oh.
Uh,
Okay. So that was like, we'll call that a warm up. How about that? We'll call that a little bit of a warm up. And now it's gonna get a little more difficult.
Yes.
Probably not.
We're getting up. We're gonna get to a ludicrous speed version of this segment with this next one. Let's do this.
In 1, 2, and 3. That's
hard.
That's difficult.
That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough. And the sad thing is, I don't think Collin. Well, maybe he actually read the thread this today. Okay, so he knows.
I wouldn't have known that one up front though.
Because you actually were there for this one. You were there for this.
Was I really?
Yeah, you were there for this recording. So I don't know. Maybe we should play it again. Let's try it again.
Let's play. Yeah, we had our friend Paulo from Brazil got a. It's not that one, Paulo. It's not that one. Let's go to the 1, 2, and 3.
It's really hard. I feel kind of bad. This is what I was. No, it's not the World Showcase in the Future World. It's not. No. Jeremy Cuff says, cool. 4 random notes recorded from a tape deck hidden in Jason's backpack. And you just wish it was hidden in my backpack, and I won't even tell you where it was really hidden. No, it was actually from a video. This is actually from one of my B-roll videos that I didn't use this video. So that's why the audio's it's like it was.
So let's do it again. Let's roll it again. Okay, 1, 2, and 3.
This is probably an area that a lot of people haven't spent a ton of time in. Potentially.
Well, you know what? Is Zach in the group tonight? Because Zach always delivers.
Rosalie, no, it's not that one. Valerie,
like
also no.
He's like my life line here. So I'll tell you, no, Rosie, it's not Beauty and the Beast sing along.
You know one thing, Jason.
That's just that. Wait a second, that's just mean.
No, but you know one thing.
She's just trolling at this point.
The part of the song that we're showing, there's some resemblance with the Beauty and the Beast song. So one of the things that we can say, there's nothing to do with Beauty and the Beast. That's the truth.
Narrow it down to a part for him, Jason.
And Eric is saying loose greased VHS tape. No, it's not that also.
So should I give a hint now?
Yeah, narrow it down to one part for him.
Well, we're in Epcot, of course, we're in Epcot, right?
That narrows it down. I mean,
but they kind of knew that already. Even the troll saying be sing along, you kind of knew that already. So, let's see. How do I put this? You could probably see a monorail from here passing by. Would you say that, Collin?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, if you wait long enough, you'll probably see a monorail passing by. Why don't we play it one more time, and then I'll give another hint.
Think slightly nostalgia.
Chris Shepard.
Oh, Chris got it.
It's like, come on, dude. There's no way you got that. Like, get out of my head, man. What is with that? So yeah, this is the space. I don't love the sing along. This is the space. This is like the area right outside of the Mission Space attraction. And
slightly nostalgia is your clue because Horizons used to be there.
You're like that totally. I was like, what is he talking about? Like I know it.
You just looked at me like, what the heck?
I thought you meant nostalgia because you're never going to get on that attraction again. I thought maybe that's
on it.
What?
You know that. We stood there that night, and you said you're getting on this. I said, no, I'm not.
Every time.
I only been to that attraction twice.
You mean like to the outside of the attraction?
No.
You've only been to the outside of the attraction?
I went. I experienced the whole attraction twice.
Did you do orange? Did you do green?
I did the first time I did green. Then they spoiled the trip for the rest of the trip. It was miserable. And
no, orange. Orange is the tough one.
I know. So I went. I did the tough one because it was right in the beginning. There was no option, so they were trying to start figuring out that everybody would become sick because of that. So then
did you have to use your relief bag?
No, almost.
No, that's for snacks.
And then the second time, many years after that, and I did the second with the green one. That was it was okay. I like it.
All right. Well, good job. I didn't think you were going to get it. I don't know. I still don't. Chris, he is a magician.
He is indeed.
He is a magician. So
yes, you're right.
Good job, Chris Shepard. Way to go, buddy. Thank you for saving me.
He's treading water over there.
Let's move on to the final one, and I think this is like
This one is going to be in
softball.
No,
yeah. Let's see. This is almost gonna be like a race. Like how fast?
Yes. Type? Because this is going to be instantaneous also. So let's go in 1, 2, and 3.
There you go. That's it. And that's really all you need.
Yeah.
It narrows it down to 2 immediately.
I think that's all you really need. And I'm just our friend Lisa Denoda Glassner is watching. We gave you a nice plug earlier, Lisa. You know, you weren't here for it, but you're here now, so it's good. So, and
yes,
I'm just trying to. Oh, there we go. Okay, Lisa Milam. No. Wait a second, Lisa Milam. You can't say both. You
have to narrow it down.
Can't say both. Sir, I like how. I think Kimberly, haven't you just said carousel to everything tonight? I think she's every time is carousel. It's got to be the carousel.
Got to be that.
So, yeah, but there were some other ones.
Tangled toilets for the win, Caleb. Good job. That's right. The new flushing sound.
Well,
sounds like a gong.
maybe for you, but...
Terry is saying China or Japan. What happening?
Jason lost.
I would turn to him only.
Why that was so funny to him, I have no idea.
Play it again. You gotta play it again. Oh my gosh.
What happened? I lost it.
It's Caleb's fault. Oh, Caleb. Oh my goodness. That was too good. Okay.
Okay, let's do the reveal.
Wait. How did you get to the reveal? They haven't really gotten it yet, have they?
Yeah, they got. A lot of them already got it.
Well, they keep saying both. Okay.
Yeah, but
somebody
they got it.
Japan.
So yes. So it's actually. So it is China, the China Pavilion, specifically from the little garden area. Where there's a Here with the Magic video, of course, from this spot. But let's go play the reveal.
Okay. It was
Carlos
fun.
is going to have to go. You realize, Colin, Carlos is going to have to go back and rewatch this just to find out why.
Yes.
To see what you said.
Yes.
He's like, no, it's what you said. I didn't say anything.
You instigated.
I didn't. I was paying attention. I was trying to find who was actually Lisa Getty Millen was the first.
Carlos is doing his job, and we're sitting here.
Yeah, you're playing around. I'm trying
jokes.
to. I'm respecting the comments here and trying to see who was the first and who did after Lisa, and that's it. But Lisa got it. Lisa said was the first one to mention China.
Oh. That was fun.
And you have to explain me later on what happened.
No, you're just gonna have to watch.
Rewatch that one.
So that was good. Good job. I think I'm gonna I think I'm gonna have to throttle up next week and toughen this thing up a bit.
Yes.
Yes.
Or shorten the clips even more. You get one note.
One note.
That's all you get.
I can name that song in one note.
Okay, buddies. There was a good one. Again, it's funny when we usually
Right on time.
usually when we finished what's the sound, I looked at the clock. Is every time is the same
It's
time.
normally within 2 minutes.
Yes. Every time is the same time.
In our defense, it was supposed to be 45 minutes at first, and that never once has happened. So.
No, I thought that today the way that we were doing the first segments went so fast, and I said we're gonna do it, below 1 hour. No.
Nope. Tangents for days.
But that's good. That's good. Let me see if the comments here. Michael, they're still commenting the sounds, and Michael was saying it's tough to be a bug, not the one from China. Let's see, Max is here. Well, thank you everybody for there's something that we could change a lot of things for after hours, but what's that sound is something that we're not gonna be able to change that much.
For better or for worse.
Yes.
You're stuck with it.
Chris is asking, wait, someone won? Yes. There's no winners, but
we're all winners, really.
We're all winners, yes.
I mean,
except Jason. He loses every time on this one. He will never win. You guys will always get it right.
But
that's what I really hope for. But with a little struggle. I like just a little struggle. Yeah,
gives him joy inside.
Terry Stinson is saying, "I have a top 5 suggestion." Go ahead, Terry. We'd love to.
Yeah.
Did she call in? Because that would be interesting. If she
no, she.
Oh my gosh! If we could have range for her to storm through Carlos's door in the full dinosaur costume, I would pay such good money to see that happen.
Fly Terry to Miami just so she can storm through the door in a T-Rex costume.
Maria is saying nearly 3:30 a.m. here, so I think I need to go to bed. Been great to watch you live, guys. Thank you and good night, Maria.
Good night. Have a good one.
It is
Thanks
amazing
for joining us anyway. I know that's
Thank you, Maria.
Early.
Thank you a lot.
Is it early or is it late?
Yeah, it's both.
But Jason,
after midnight's both.
Your famous final last words for the show.
I think I think it's. I miss you, Carlos. It was fun having you here in person, but I love having Collin back, and it's good to have the gang back together.
Yes.
I want to remind everybody, or maybe introduce to those who are unfamiliar, that the lunch break will be back next week.
Oh, good.
Yes, beginning Monday.
So let me show your card here.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Good thing we're not playing poker.
Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, here with magiclive.com. I would love to see you guys there. Where are we going? I think we're going to Hawaii. If I remember correctly, I believe we're going to Hawaii. I have to look at my notes. But I think that's where we will be on Monday, and then
not one
next
of the 25 sticky notes.
It is. Well, they all fell off, so I'm like playing pickup sticks or whatever. Next week we are going to be on the new schedule, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if you show up on Tuesday or Thursday, it's going to be quiet. Which may be what you want. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, here with themagiclive.com, or you can find it via the Facebook page. I'd love to have you there. And I know it felt weird. It felt really weird this week. I was busy helping my mom move. She arrived. So many of you had a lot of nice things to say, and were wishing us well with the move and everything went out. I'm happy to say she made it from Maryland to Orlando safely. They just got the house is getting things are getting unpacked and put away in the house. I don't know where they're all going to be put because she has so much stuff, but we won't talk about that. And it's just good. It's good to have her here. And she's getting settled in, and it was nice. Thank you guys so much for not giving too much of a hard time for not being present with the lunch break this week, so I could help her with that. But it's been really, I don't know, it's been a really weird week otherwise in terms of not being with you each day, and I miss that. So I'm looking forward to getting back to it on Monday.
Good, my friend. And I have to change your soul image again, just to. Guys, do you notice that Jason has a different background now? He's actually in a different set.
I am. Well, as of last week, we were in a different set.
Yes, you're using our studio.
And I'm going to, maybe I'll switch things up a little bit, and even next week.
Yes.
Maybe I'll have something behind me. Maybe somebody will send me a certain picture.
I'll try to get it. If you want to use it, I'll try to get it.
If someone can get me that picture,
I have an idea with that picture. What I will do is, yes, I will just only adapt my picture on that, but it's going to be with that thing in my head. And I have a good idea that we can do in terms of doing this a T-shirt, as Jeremy already prepared the whole idea. There's something nice we can do with that. There's something I will share with you in the near future.
We could sell T-shirts.
There is a rumor, that may happen.
Collin, your message, please.
Yeah. So as always, check out the site if you get a chance. I've not been posting anything about planning much right now, just because, it's just a hectic environment. I don't want to spread anything that's going to be potentially negative, so I'm always trying to be positive there. Share some things that are just overlooked gems of the Disney experience. If you want to kind of up your game on your next Disney trip, check that out. It may be more important now than ever to check out some of the little-known spots of Disney World, as the parks may not be your kind of go-to at the moment for a lot of people. So check that out. That's something fun that I've got a lot of articles about, kind of hidden gems of the parks. Also, the shop's there. So guide4www.com/shop will take you right to the shop, where you can actually pick up any of I think 2 or 3 of the photos that I used tonight to share as well. So those are always fun. It's kind of my window to the world project, and I know I've sent quite a few of them out in the last couple of weeks. Hopefully everybody's gotten those well, and that they're potentially in a really good home. Hopefully they're bringing a little magic to your day during all of this kind of craziness, and hopefully it's kind of a positive light for you and something to just have a little piece of Disney wherever you are. So that's kind of my spiel.
Your spiel.
What about you, Carlos?
Well, you know what?
When you're not posing in front of strange-looking plant pictures,
and when I'm not being attacked by a dragonfly, and I'm not screaming because of that little, how you call that? Those little frogs that they stick in the wall.
I can't believe you brought up the frogs.
I hate terrified. That. And in Portuguese, there's a different name. It's called perereca. I hate those things. I really hate those things. And
they're just little frogs.
Just one time, we should pay his wife to slip one in his office during the show, just to see what happens.
I think he might kill him. Yeah. I don't want to see that.
We don't want to see that.
I think it would be bad. I think he'd jump out of his seat and he'd be bouncing off the floor. Oh, no, we should do that. Yeah, we should.
But my dear friends, my name is Carlos Silva, but whatever you ask what Carlos does in terms of content is in Portuguese. But I really ask you to visit particularly my Instagram account and my profile, because you can see nice pictures. And if you want some help to understand what I'm writing there, I'll be more than happy to translate to you, to explain to you. But the whole idea is that I work with content for Brazilian and Portuguese-speaking visitors to Florida, not only with Ponto Orlando, but also with Ponto Miami. And I do that both Instagram, YouTube, and each profile has a blog, a website. It's much more like a portal than a blog, but that you have, for Miami, I have something like 700 posts about parks, restaurants, tours, shopping. The same thing in Orlando. Ponto Orlando has a lot more of Disney on that, but there is also around 500 posts about trips, planning the travel to Orlando. Okay, guys.
Well, good show, guys.
It was a really good show.
This was a lot of fun. Been good to be back, Dave.
And thanks everybody for being here again this week and staying up late with us or getting up really early for some.
And as always, if you enjoyed it, all we ask is just you invite a friend next week. It's all a community here. We're just here to have fun, enjoy each other's company, and really just interact with you all as much as we can. And hopefully the show format shows that we're really interested in welcoming your opinions, your thoughts, your interaction, because that's really kind of the heart and soul of the show, and it makes us better off as a result. So it's a lot of fun having you here. Anybody you can bring into this community that loves Disney, more than happy to welcome them here as well.
Yeah, thank you guys for making this such a special space and place, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun spending time with you guys. So thank you.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys. We love you. And actually, now is our Jeremy moment. Let's finish the show with Jeremy's song. And
love this.
Yes, we love this. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
Good night.